Captain Han Du-jin stared at the blue planet through his observation deck's main screen. Earth rotated slowly, peaceful and seemingly harmless, just as it had for the past 5 years of his watch duty. He took a sip from his warm drink and checked the daily readings again. Another quiet day in the Sol system, he muttered to himself, his fingers moving across the holographic display. The numbers hadn't changed much since yesterday. Same atmospheric composition, same level of pollutants, same scattered radio signals carrying human entertainment and communications. The door to the observation deck slid open with a soft hiss. Officer Bai Yuri entered, carrying the morning report tablet. Captain, the latest analysis of human technological progress is ready for your review. Do-jin nodded, accepting the tablet. The humans were building bigger buildings, making slightly faster vehicles, and creating more efficient ways to use their limited energy resources. Nothing unexpected. Nothing that suggested they would break free from their gravity well anytime soon. They launched another satellite yesterday, Yuri said, pointing to a specific line in the report. A weather monitoring system, from what we can tell. Primitive technology, Do-jin replied, but there was no mockery in his voice. In fact, he had developed a soft spot for these determined creatures. They're clever with what they have, though. Have to give them credit for that. The observation ship, hidden behind sophisticated cloaking technology, continued its silent orbit around Earth's moon. It was one of 12 vessels stationed throughout the solar system, all tasked with monitoring humanity's development. The Galactic Council had maintained this watch for over 300 years, ever since humans first split the atom. Do-jin walked to the small recreation area adjacent to the observation deck. The walls displayed images from Earth's surface, cities, forests, oceans. He had never visited the planet personally. Direct contact was strictly forbidden, but he felt he knew it intimately after years of observation. Captain, Yuri called out, her voice carrying a note of curiosity. I've noticed something interesting in their educational broadcasts. Oh, Do-jin returned to the main screen, where Yuri had pulled up several video feeds from various human universities. They're asking different questions about gravity lately. Their theoretical physics departments are exploring new angles. Yuri played a recording of a lecture from a prestigious human university. See how they're approaching the problem. Do-jin watched for a few minutes, then shook his head with a smile. They're persistent, I'll give them that. But they're still centuries away from understanding gravitational manipulation. The math alone would take them generations to work out. The ship's computer beeped, signaling the time for the daily report to the Galactic Council. Do-jin sat at his station and began recording. Day 1825 of observation. Captain Han Du-jin reporting. Earth remains at development level 3. Humans continue to advance their technology in predictable patterns. They show remarkable resourcefulness within their limitations, but remain firmly bound by their planet's gravity well. No signs of imminent breakthroughs in space travel capability. Probability of achieving interstellar travel within the next century remains less than 0.01%. He paused the recording, looking at the latest images from Earth's major cities. Something about the humans' recent research directions nagged at him, but he couldn't put his finger on what it was. After a moment's consideration, he added, Note, recommend continued observation of their theoretical physics research. While still primitive, they show unusual persistence in questioning fundamental forces. Do-jin ended the recording and sent it off through the quantum communication network. He turned to Yuri, who was still studying the educational broadcasts. Keep tracking those physics lectures, he said. It's probably nothing, but there's no harm in being thorough. Yes, Captain, Yuri replied, making a note in her tablet. As the day shift came to an end, Do-jin took one last look at Earth. The night side was now facing them, cities glittering like stars across the dark continents. Humans had come far from their cave-dwelling days, but the enormous gravity well of their homeworld was nature's perfect prison, or so everyone believed. Little did Captain Han Du-jin know that deep beneath those glittering cities, in secret laboratories and hidden facilities. Humanity was about to prove every assumption wrong. He logged off his station and headed to his quarters, leaving Earth to spin quietly in the darkness, keeping its secrets for just a little while longer. Kim Ji-soo wiped sweat from her forehead as she carefully brushed dust from the strange markings on the cave wall. The archaeological dig in northern Korea had already lasted 3 months, but this discovery made it all worthwhile. Under the harsh lights of the excavation site, the ancient symbols seemed to glow with their own energy. "Professor Lee," she called out, her voice echoing through the cave. "I think you need to see this." Lee Ta-won hurried over, his usual calm replaced by excitement as he saw what Ji-soo had uncovered. The wall was covered in mathematical equations, but they were unlike anything either of them had seen before. "These symbols," Ta-won said, running his fingers lightly over the marks. "They're at least 5,000 years old, but look at the complexity of these formulas. This shouldn't be possible." Ji-soo took photos and began entering the symbols into her tablet. As a mathematician and archaeologist, she had studied ancient number systems for years, but these were different. They weren't just numbers. They were describing something about the nature of gravity itself. "The people who made these," she said slowly, "they understood something about gravity that we're just beginning to grasp now." Back at their research facility in Seoul, Ji-soo and Ta-won worked late into the night. Their small lab was filled with holographic displays, showing the cave equations alongside modern physics formulas. Empty coffee cups littered their desks. "Look here," Ta-won pointed to one section of the equations. "If we combine this with our current understanding of gravitational fields," his fingers flew across the keyboard, inputting numbers into their simulation. The computer screen lit up with new calculations. Ji-soo's eyes widened as she understood what she was seeing. "This isn't just about measuring gravity," she whispered. "It's about controlling it." They worked through the night, combining the ancient equations with modern physics. With each passing hour, their excitement grew. This wasn't just a breakthrough. It was a revolution in human understanding of the universe. The next morning, they presented their findings to the facility director, Park Sun-mei. The usually stern director listened in silence as Ji-soo and Ta-won explained their discovery. "So what you're saying," Sun-mei said carefully, "is that these cave drawings might hold the key to defeating gravity itself." "Not defeating it," Ji-soo corrected. "Working with it. The equations show how to create a field that can redirect gravitational forces. If we're right, we could build ships that ignore the Earth's gravity completely." Sun-mei stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the morning sky. After a long moment, she turned back to them. "You understand what this means. If we can build this technology, we can leave Earth," Ta-won finished. "Not just in small rockets, but in ships of any size. We could take thousands of people into space at once." "The aliens watching us," Sun-mei said quietly. "They think we're trapped here by gravity. They've been watching us for centuries, waiting for us to develop their kind of space travel technology." Ji-soo smiled. "But we found a completely different way. A way they might not even understand." Sun-mei pressed a button on her desk. "This project is now classified at the highest level. From this moment on, you work directly for me. We'll give you any resources you need." Over the next few weeks, their small lab turned into a major research center. More scientists joined the team, each carefully selected and sworn to secrecy. They worked around the clock, testing and refining the ancient formulas with modern technology. 1 month after the cave discovery, Ji-soo stood in the test chamber. A small metal ball floated in front of her, surrounded by their prototype gravity redirect field. It hung perfectly still, completely ignoring Earth's pull. "It works," she said softly, tears in her eyes. "It really works." Ta-won put a hand on her shoulder. "This is just the beginning. Imagine what we can build with this." In her office, Director Park Sun-mei was already imagining it. On her screen were the first designs for massive ships, each capable of carrying thousands of people. she sent a secure message to government leaders around the world. Project Phoenix is ready to begin. In space, Captain Han Du-jin's observation ship continued its quiet patrol, its sensors showing nothing unusual from the planet below. The greatest scientific breakthrough in human history had happened right under their watchful eyes, and they hadn't seen a thing. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Director Park Sun-mi walked through the massive underground shipyard. The facility stretched for kilometers under the seafloor, hidden from the watchful eyes of alien observers. Hundreds of workers moved around her, assembling the largest ships humanity had ever built. "Status report," she said to her assistant, who hurried alongside her with a tablet. "Construction is on schedule, Director. The first 50 ships are 80% complete. The gravity redirect systems are performing perfectly in all tests." Sun-mi nodded, watching as enormous metal panels were lifted into place by specialized robots. Each ship was designed to carry 10,000 people, complete with living quarters, farms, and research facilities. They were building humanity's future, one metal plate at a time. On the other side of the world, beneath the Antarctic ice, Lee Ta-won supervised the testing of the gravity redirect system on a full-scale ship. The prototype vessel hung suspended in a massive underground chamber, completely free from Earth's gravitational pull. "Power output is stable," one of the engineers reported. "The field is maintaining perfect consistency." Ta-won checked the readings on his own screen. They had come so far from those first equations found in the cave. Now they had working technology that no other species in the galaxy had ever developed. In a secret facility on the dark side of the moon, Kim Ji-soo oversaw the final assembly of the fleet's navigation systems. The moon base had been built in complete radio silence, using only tight-beam laser communications that alien sensors couldn't detect. "All ships will be linked to the central navigation network," she explained to a group of pilots in training. "You'll be able to coordinate movements across the entire fleet instantly." One of the pilots raised his hand. "What about alien detection systems? Won't they see us coming?" Ji-soo smiled. "The gravity redirect field bends light around our ships. As far as their sensors are concerned, we'll be invisible until we choose to reveal ourselves." Back on Earth, military leaders from around the world gathered in an underground bunker to plan the fleet's first mission. Admiral Song May-rae stood at the front of the room, pointing to a holographic map of nearby star systems. "The alien observation posts are positioned here, here, and here," she said, highlighting several points. "When we launch, we'll need to coordinate perfectly to maintain the element of surprise." The room was filled with the world's best military minds, but they all listened in respectful silence. May-rae had been chosen to lead the fleet for her brilliant strategic mind and steady judgment. "Remember," she continued, "our goal is not to start a war. We're announcing our presence to the galaxy in a way that demands respect, but we must be ready to shift immediately to peaceful contact." In orbit around Earth, Captain Han Du-jin's observation ship continued its routine patrol. His sensors picked up the usual signals from human satellites and radio broadcasts, but nothing unusual. The sophisticated cloaking technologies hiding humanity's preparations worked perfectly. Director Park Sun-mi stood in her office at the main undersea facility, looking at the latest construction reports. 300 ships complete, 500 more under construction, crews in training, supplies being stockpiled. Everything was coming together. Her computer chimed with an incoming message from Admiral Song May-rae. "Final combat simulations complete. Fleet crews certified for operations. We are ready." Sun-mi took a deep breath and sent out the message she had been waiting years to deliver. "Begin final launch preparations. Operation Phoenix will commence in 30 days." Around the world and on the moon, hidden shipyards hummed with activity. Humanity's greatest secret was almost ready to be revealed. Soon, the galaxy would learn that they had badly underestimated the creatures they thought were trapped on Earth. The countdown to launch had begun. Alien observer Rox adjusted his sensor equipment for the third time that day. Strange energy readings had been appearing and disappearing around Earth for the past week. They were faint, barely noticeable, but definitely unusual. Captain Han, Rox called through the ship's communication system. "Would you come to the sensor station? There's something you should see." Dojin arrived quickly, his face showing mild interest. "What have you found?" "These energy patterns," Rox pointed to the screen. "They don't match any known human technology. They appear randomly, last for a few minutes, then vanish." Dojin studied the readings carefully. They looked almost like gravitational distortions, but that was impossible. Humans were centuries away from such technology. "Probably atmospheric anomalies," he said finally. "Earth's weather systems are quite chaotic." Meanwhile, deep beneath the ocean, Commander Choi Hyun-ki was conducting the final tests of the fleet's stealth systems. He watched as sensors monitored the brief activations of the gravity redirect fields. The aliens detected something, Hyun-ki told Director Park Sun-mi through a secure channel. But they dismissed it, just as we predicted. Sun-mi nodded on the screen. "Perfect. Their own assumptions about us are working in our favor. How are the final preparations proceeding?" "All ships report ready," Hyun-ki replied. "Crews are in position. Supply loading is complete. We can launch on your command." In the lunar facility, Kim Ji-soo ran the final checks on the fleet's navigation systems. Her screen showed 1,000 ships, each represented by a small green dot. They were hidden in underwater bases, underground bunkers, and secret facilities across Earth and the Moon. "Navigation network test complete," she announced to her team. "All ships are properly linked. The coordination system is functioning perfectly." Lee Ta-won supervised the loading of the last civilian passengers onto the ships. Families walked through the huge airlocks, carrying only essential belongings. They were pioneers, ready to show the galaxy that humanity had earned its place among the stars. "Remember," he told them, "when we launch, artificial gravity will activate immediately. You won't feel any disorientation." Admiral Song Mayray stood in the command center of her flagship, hidden beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Her crew worked efficiently at their stations, running through final checks of all systems. "Status report," she commanded. "All ships report ready, Admiral. Weapons systems are operational but powered down as ordered. Diplomatic channels are prepared. First contact messages are loaded in all major galactic languages." Mayray smiled. They were ready for peace but prepared for any response. That was the human way. On the observation ship, Captain Han Du-jin was writing his daily report. Day 2190 of observation. No significant changes in human technological development. Recommend continuing standard monitoring procedures. He paused, thinking about the strange energy readings. Should he mention them? No, they were clearly just natural phenomena. Humans simply didn't have the capability to generate such energy patterns. In her undersea command center, Director Park Sun-mi received the final authorization from Earth's United Governments. The time had come. She opened a secure channel to all ships. "This is Director Park to all vessels. Operation Phoenix is now active. Prepare for synchronized launch in 12 hours. The time has come to show the galaxy that humanity will not be contained." 1,000 ships powered up their systems, still hidden from alien detection. In 12 hours, the galaxy would change forever. Captain Han Du-jin finished his report and prepared for another routine day of observation. He had no idea that he was about to witness the most shocking event in galactic history. Captain Han Du-jin's quiet morning shift changed in an instant. Warning alerts flashed across every screen on his observation ship. The sensor officer's voice carried clear panic. "Captain, multiple objects appearing all around Earth. They're everywhere." Du-jin rushed to the main viewing screen. His mouth fell open at the sight before him. Massive ships were rising from Earth's oceans, breaking through the surface in perfect formation. More vessels emerged from hidden bases in mountains and deserts. On the dark side of the Moon, entire sections of the surface slid open, revealing even more ships. "Impossible," he whispered. This is impossible. In her flagship rising from the Atlantic Ocean, Admiral Song Mayray stood tall on the command bridge. "All ships, report status," she ordered. "All systems operational. Admiral, gravity redirect fields functioning at full power. No damage from ocean exit. All civilian passengers secure." Mayray nodded, watching her display as 1,000 green lights confirmed successful launches. Each ship was larger than anything humans had ever built before, yet they moved with perfect grace, completely ignoring Earth's gravity. Director Park Sun-mai watched from her command center as the greatest secret in human history revealed itself to the galaxy. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. The 1,000 ships moved into their planned formations. They created geometric patterns in space, a deliberate display of coordination and control. Each vessel gleamed in the sunlight, their hulls marked with the unified emblem of Earth. On the observation ship, Du Jin's crew scrambled to analyze the human vessels. "Sir," one officer reported, "these ships, they're not using any known form of propulsion. Our sensors can't even detect how they're moving. Send emergency alerts to all observation posts," Du Jin ordered. "Contact the Galactic Council immediately." But more surprises were coming. The human ships suddenly vanished from all alien sensor screens, only to reappear in different positions. They were demonstrating their ability to become invisible at will. Commander Choi Hyun-ki directed the stealth demonstration from his vessel. "All ships, execute Pattern Delta. Show them exactly what we can do." The fleet split into 5 groups, each performing complex maneuvers that should have been impossible for vessels of their size. They moved with precision that spoke of long practice and absolute control. In the Lunar Command Center, Kim Ji-soo monitored the fleet's navigation network, all ships maintaining perfect formation. She reported to Admiral Mayray, "The aliens are trying to track us, but their sensors can't handle our gravity redirect fields." Lee Ta-won, watching from his ship's science station, allowed himself a small smile. Centuries of alien assumptions about human capabilities were shattering in a single morning. On the observation ship, Du Jin received an urgent message from the Galactic Council. "Maintain surveillance only. Do not engage. Additional ships are being dispatched to your location." "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the human fleet. They're broadcasting on all standard galactic frequencies." Admiral Mayray's voice filled communication channels across the solar system. "To all galactic citizens, we, the united people of Earth, greet you. We have chosen this moment to reveal ourselves and claim our place among the stars. We come in peace, seeking friendship and exchange of knowledge, but we will not be dismissed or underestimated." The 1,000 ships moved into their final formation, a massive sphere surrounding Earth, a clear demonstration of their ability to defend their homeworld. Captain Han Du-jin stared at the display, his entire understanding of humanity transforming in a single morning. These were not the primitive beings he had been watching. They were something entirely new, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council's emergency chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from 500 species filled the massive room, their voices creating a storm of worried discussion. At the center of the chamber, recordings of Earth's fleet played on giant screens. Senior Council member Dax stood at the main podium. "The humans have deceived us all. They developed technology we didn't even know was possible. They must be contained before they become a threat." Admiral Song Mayray watched the Council broadcast from her flagship's command center. Earth's fleet remained in defensive formation around their planet, waiting. She had expected this reaction. "Director Park," Mayray called through the secure channel. "The Council is reacting exactly as we predicted. Shall we proceed with Phase 3? In her command center, Park Sun-mai nodded. "Begin diplomatic approach. Remember, we show strength through peace." Mayray's flagship, the largest of Earth's vessels, broke formation. It moved slowly toward the gathering of alien ships that had arrived in the solar system. Her crew maintained perfect calm as they approached. Open all communication channels, Mayray ordered. Transmit our peaceful contact package. Captain Han Du-jin watched from his observation ship as the human vessel approached. His sensors showed no weapons powered up on the Earth ship, despite its obvious military capability. They're requesting direct communication, his officer reported. Du-jin straightened his uniform. Accept the request. Admiral Miray's image appeared on his screen. She spoke in perfect galactic standard language. Captain Han, we request your presence at a diplomatic meeting. You have watched our world for years. Now we invite you to meet us face to face. In the Galactic Council chamber, the debate grew heated. We must send warships. One representative shouted. The humans cannot be trusted. They have made no aggressive moves. Another countered. Their technology is new to us, yes, but they speak of peace. On Miray's flagship, the diplomatic meeting room was prepared. Captain Han Du-jin's shuttle docked with perfect precision. When he entered, he found not just Admiral Miray, but also Director Park Sun-mei and the scientists who had made it all possible. Welcome, Captain, Park Sun-mei said warmly. We have much to discuss. Du-jin looked around the room, noting the advanced technology that somehow blended perfectly with human artistic touches. How did you achieve all this without us noticing? Kim Ji-soo stepped forward with a tablet showing the ancient cave equations. We found a different path than the one you expected us to take. Humanity has always been good at finding unexpected solutions. Back in the council chamber, the mood was shifting. More recordings were playing now, not of Earth's military display, but of their ship's internal operations. They showed schools, farms, families. These were not warships, but vessels built to carry civilization itself. A new voice cut through the chaos. The High Council leader activated her communication screen. I have made my decision. I will go to Earth personally to meet these humans. If they wished us harm, they would have acted already. In Earth orbit, Admiral Miray received the news with a smile. Captain Han, she said, it seems you will be joined by more diplomatic visitors soon. Will you help us prepare for their arrival? Han Du-jin looked at the humans around him, not primitives trapped on their world, but equals who had earned their place among the stars through intelligence and determination. It would be my honor, he replied. I believe I have much to learn about your species. Director Park Sun-mi's voice carried quiet pride as she responded. We all have much to learn from each other. That is why we chose to reveal ourselves this way, not as conquerors, but as neighbors ready to join the galactic community. The first step toward humanity's new future had been taken, and it was a step of peace. The High Council leader sat in Earth's main conference center, surrounded by delegates from both humanity and the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. The room's large windows showed the impressive sight of Earth's fleet floating alongside ships from 20 different alien species. Kim Ji-soo stood at the presentation podium, ready to explain how humanity had achieved what many thought impossible. Director Park Sun-mei and Admiral Song Miray sat nearby, watching with quiet pride. For centuries, Ji-soo began, you watched us, believing we would follow the same technological path as other species. But humans have always been good at finding different ways to solve problems. She displayed the ancient cave equations on the large screen. These markings were our first clue. They showed us a completely different way to think about gravity. The alien delegates leaned forward, studying the equations with growing interest. Captain Han Du-jin, now serving as the primary liaison between Earth and the Galactic Council, watched their reactions carefully. But that was not our only advantage, Ji-soo continued. While you watched us, we were also watching you. The room grew very quiet. Ji-soo brought up another display, showing decoded alien transmissions from the past 50 years. Your observation ships were careful, but they still needed to communicate. We learned to detect and decode these transmissions. Lee Ta-won stepped forward to explain further. We didn't understand everything, but we learned enough about your technology to know we needed to find a different path. Your way of space travel would have taken us centuries to develop, so we looked for alternatives. The High Council leader spoke for the first time. You used our own surveillance against us. Not against you. Director Park Sun-Mei corrected politely. We used it to understand you, to learn what was possible. Then we found our own way to achieve it. Admiral Mirai activated a holographic display showing Earth's gravity redirect technology. We combined what we learned from the ancient equations with small pieces of knowledge from your transmissions. The result was something entirely new. The alien scientists in the room studied the display with obvious fascination. The technology was unlike anything they had seen before. Some were already taking notes. But why reveal yourselves now? Captain Han Dujin asked. Why not wait longer? Because we were ready, Mirai answered simply. Ready not just with technology, but with unity. Every ship in our fleet carries people from multiple nations. We wanted to join the galaxy as one human civilization, not as competing countries. The High Council leader nodded slowly. You have shown great wisdom in how you revealed yourselves. No aggression, no threats. Just a demonstration of capability followed by an offer of friendship. We had a lot of time to plan while we were building our ships, Park Sun-Mei said with a small smile. We discussed every possible way to reveal ourselves. In the end, we chose to demonstrate our strength through peace. Jisoo brought up one final display. The complete technical specifications of the gravity redirect system. As a show of good faith, we offer this knowledge freely to the galaxy. We ask only for equal standing among your civilizations in return. The room erupted in surprised murmurs. Freely sharing such valuable technology was unprecedented. But then, humans had already proven they were good at doing the unexpected. The High Council leader stood, her decision made. Humanity has earned its place among the stars, not just through technology, but through wisdom. Let the record show that Earth is now a full member of the Galactic Council. The future had arrived, and it was brighter than anyone had imagined. 1 year after humanity's dramatic reveal, the Earth Embassy on the Galactic Central Station opened its doors. Park Sun-Mei, now Earth's first galactic ambassador, stood beside Captain Han Dujin at the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Who would have thought? Dujin said with a smile, that I would go from watching Earth to helping represent humanity's interests in the Council. Sun-Mei looked around at the embassy's grand hall, where representatives from hundreds of species mingled with human diplomats. You understood us better than most, Captain. That's why we requested you as our liaison. The embassy's walls displayed scenes from Earth, cities, forests, oceans, and mountains. But now these images were joined by pictures of human ships exploring distant stars and Earth scientists working alongside alien researchers. Admiral Song Mirai entered the hall, wearing her formal uniform, with new galactic insignia. The joint fleet exercises were a complete success, she reported. Our ships are now fully integrated into the Galactic Defense Force. In one corner of the embassy, Kim Ji-soo and Lee Ta-won demonstrated the gravity redirect technology to a group of alien scientists. The technology had sparked a new age of innovation across the galaxy, with different species finding new ways to apply the principles humanity had discovered. Your approach to gravity manipulation has changed everything, one alien scientist said. We were so focused on fighting against gravity that we never thought about working with it instead. Commander Choi Hyun-ki, now leading Earth's first deep space exploration mission, appeared on the embassy's main screen. Behind him, a new class of ships prepared for their maiden voyage. Ambassador Park, he reported, the joint human-alien crews are ready. We begin our mission to the Galactic Core tomorrow. The High Council leader arrived at the embassy, causing a respectful hush to fall over the crowd. She approached Sun-Mei with genuine warmth. Earth has brought new energy to our galactic community, she said. Your people's different way of thinking has already led to advances in medicine, technology, and cultural exchange. We had good teachers, Sun-Mei replied diplomatically. Even when you thought you were just watching us, you were helping us prepare for this moment. Captain Han Dujin, now wearing the dual insignias of his original service, and Earth's Space Force, raised his glass. "To new beginnings," he said. The gathered crowd, humans and aliens together, raised their glasses in response. To new beginnings. Outside the embassy's viewing windows, Earth's ships moved in formation with vessels from across the galaxy. Their gravity redirect fields, once a closely guarded secret, now helped ships of all species move more efficiently through space. Park Sun-me stepped onto the embassy's balcony. Looking out at the vast expanse of space, humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had helped create a better galaxy for everyone. What's next for humanity? A young alien diplomat asked her. Sun-me smiled, thinking of the new joint research projects, exploration missions, and cultural exchanges already planned. "What we humans do best," she answered. "Finding new questions to ask, new problems to solve, and new friends to make along the way." The galaxy had changed forever, and it was better for it. The species that everyone thought was trapped on Earth had not only freed itself, it had helped create a new age of cooperation and discovery for all. A new dawn had truly begun.